Hi guys, welcome on a video how to make metal in FLStudio. And today I want to tell you how to make a good intro and chorus for your metal or rock song. So let's go! And let's start from the instruments that I use in this song. First of all, it's Dune 3 and I use the Cecilia KS and it sounds something like... And after that I use the two guitars that play not the same pattern. But what about the adjustments? It's first and the third guitar and the second and the first guitar on the other guitar. And of course about the adjustment, then nothing special. I just off all these release time windows and little bit up the down and up stroke offset. By the way, I didn't use the presets in Hydra, I made the guitar in other plugin. And I made these two guitars in one pattern. Another guitar. And together it sounds something like... So after that I made the bass that just duplicated the first guitar rhythm, so I made it by the Ample Metal Ray 5 with the default preset and other VSTs that I used to make it better. And after that I also used the Dune 3 with the preset bass of War MK. After that also Dune 3 with the preset Golden Pikes KS. And after that I made drums with the Easy Drummers and with the preset Drumkit from Hell and Tape. And it sounds something like... The only thing I made, I just make all these plates that you can hear just a little bit not so loud. And after that I use the automatization to make the volume not so loud, I mean about this case that playing in the intro, and make this pattern 1 sounds not so loud in other part of our song. So what about the VSTs that I used? I used maybe only the EasyMix 3 and SUS 2 to make all these sounds. So let's go to the keys. It's the EasyMix 3 with a synth delay. And of course I use the SUS 2 with a synth mid clean up. After that there are guitars, I use the lead shreds and SUS 2 with the guitar death spike, and on other guitar I use the same thing. So what about the bass? I use the H bass and SUS 2 with melodic bass control. Of course a synth bass with EasyMix 3 spikes and boots, and SUS 2 target beat crush resonances. Synth melody EasyMix is orchestral elevator, and SUS 2 with synth mid clean up. And what about the drums? I use the modernizer and SUS 2 with hi-hat remover. What about the automatization? I just click the right mouse button on the volume trigger and create automation clip. And you can see that from guitars there are some sidechains to other instruments that I use in this song. And what I made, I just click on the guitar 1 and guitar 2 and right mouse button and sidechain to all of these tracks. Here I made the fruity limiter and here I didn't make anything, so you just need to add the fruity limiter on your guitar 1 and guitar 2. And on other instruments I made the fruity limiter, I click on the comp and sidechain and choose the guitar 1 or guitar 2. I made two sidechains to each of these instruments, and one sidechain to first guitar and the second sidechain to the second guitar. I just made the proper adjustments. And why I made all these adjustments and all these sidechains? When a guitar's playing, all these instruments just go low and don't make some sand, don't make some mudness, and our guitar sounds good, and it's very important. And what about other adjustments? I make the keys in mono, I made the bass in mono. It's very important to make bass in mono every time you make your bass. And all these synths I also made in a mono. What about the volume levels? Our guitar's very loud, the second guitar not so loud, to make it little bit not so much. Bass on very low level, because it will not sound so good if you made it a little bit not so loud. So it sounds in a proper way. And what about the synths? It's also on the proper levels that I need in this song. And the case just making by the automatization, so I told it before. And let's go to the master. I use the EasyMix 3 Metal Master Retro, and of course the SUS2 with the side Reso Fix. And what I want to tell you about all of this, so let's just click on all these instruments and off all the VSTs. Listen what we got. It's really fun. So I will add all the VSTs and you will hear the difference between. Now I want to tell you that it sounds really good and I really like it. So let's go to the patterns of our song. So what about the keys? There are not so lots of notes, so I made the main harmony. And after that I just duplicate this harmony, just click Ctrl C, Ctrl V and Ctrl and arrow up to make it here. And after that I just make the rhythm and I just duplicated the rhythm from my guitar. And after that I just add the melody. I didn't make any humanizing on the scenes because I really don't want it. So what about this guitar? I make the same rhythm as we saw on the synth. And of course I made some humanizing. I just click on the tools, I just click on the randomize, and here I little bit turn the velocity knob. And of course, what about the second guitar? I also made the humanizing, so there is nothing difficult. What about the bass? It's just the duplicating of guitar rhythm, and I also didn't make any randomizing of the velocity level, so you can make it, but I really don't want it in this song. Synth bass, of course. It's also a duplicating of a main harmony, and the melody the same that you could hear in the intro. So what about the drums? Not so hard pattern, you can hear the plates. You can hear other plates. Also the snare and kick. And it sounds something like. And all on the maximum velocity. So in the end we have the really good sound, so just listen. If you like this video, you can like, subscribe, leave your comment, and of course if you wanna support me, you can go to my Patreon and get any subscription, and it will be the world for me. The episode was with you, and see you later.